Poor farmer hit a wounded giant princess, and next day, the chief paid off all his ranch debts. Elias Carter had spent most of his life on the dry outskirts of the valley, where his family ranch stood like a stubborn, weather-beaten monument to a heritage he refused to abandon. Since his father's passing, Elias had done everything to keep the land alive, patching fences with scrap wire, selling cattle at unfair prices, and stretching every coin until it nearly tore. But debt collectors didn't care about a man's struggle. They wanted payment. Each visit from the bank was harsher than the last, and Elias knew he was one letter away from losing the only home he had left. One late evening, after struggling for hours to repair a broken irrigation pipe, Elias walked toward his barn when the earth suddenly trembled beneath his feet. He paused. Another tremor followed, low, heavy, deliberate. Then came a muffled thud like a massive body hitting the ground. The cattle stirred anxiously, snorting and shifting, and Elias instinctively reached for his lantern and rifle. The valley was known for strange sounds, but nothing ever shook the ground. Curiosity pushed him toward the forest behind his ranch. As he stepped between the trees, his lantern's glow revealed enormous footprints pressed deep into the soil, fresh and unmistakably human-shaped but impossibly large. He crouched, running his fingers along the impression. It was real. Something huge had passed through minutes earlier. A faint groan drifted through the dark, heavy and pained. Elias followed the sound, heart pounding. Pushing through a thicket, he froze at the sight before him. A giant woman, easily 10 feet tall, was slumped against a boulder, her body trembling from blood loss. Her skin carried intricate glowing markings, pulsing faintly like living symbols. Her hair, long and metallic gold, spilled around her like a fallen sunbeam. A deep gash ran across her shoulder, staining the ground beneath her with shimmering blood. She tried to lift her head when she sensed him, but the effort drew a weak gasp from her. Elias stepped back instinctively, but something in her exhausted eyes kept him from fleeing. Fear wasn't the only emotion in them. There was desperation, vulnerability, something unexpectedly human. She tried to speak but staggered forward instead, and the forest floor shook as she collapsed again. Elias swallowed hard and slowly approached, lowering his lantern. "You're hurt," he said softly. Her voice came out in a hoarse whisper. "Leave me. Men are hunting me. If they find you with me, they will kill you." Elias shook his head. "No one deserves to die alone in the woods." She blinked, surprised by his calmness, then winced as pain surged through her arm. Elias inspected the wound, deep, jagged, and infected. "She wouldn't survive the night like this." "I can't carry you," Elias muttered, thinking aloud. "But I can help you walk." The giant woman eyed him cautiously. "Why would a human help one of my kind?" Elias hesitated. "Because someone helped my father once when no one else did. I owe the world at least that much." For a moment she stared at him as if searching for deceit. Finding none, she nodded weakly. With careful steps and every ounce of strength, Elias guided her out of the forest, her massive hand gripping his shoulder for balance. The ground shook with each step she took, and more than once Elias feared she would collapse again. After a long struggle, he managed to hide her inside the spacious hay barn. She sank onto the piled hay, breathing heavily. He lit a lantern and returned with buckets of water, cloth strips, and whatever medicine he could find. As he cleaned her wound, she finally introduced herself. "I am Althea, princess of the Northern Giant clan." Elias froze mid-bandage. Giants were spoken of only in stories, rumors passed down by elders and dismissed by most. Yet here she was, wounded and real. "What happened to you?" he asked. "Mercenaries," she replied. "Hired by men who want our lands. They ambushed my clan. I escaped, but many didn't." Elias clenched his jaw. The world had enough greed already, and now it extended even to beings most humans didn't believe existed. As the night deepened, Althea's breathing steadied. Though her size was intimidating, her expressions revealed kindness and an unspoken gratitude. Elias felt an odd sense of responsibility toward her, perhaps because helping her was the first meaningful thing he had done in months. Just when calm settled in, distant hoofbeats thundered across the road. Elias peeked through a crack. In the barn door, armed riders patrolling the valley with torches and spears. Althea stiffened. "They're hunting me." "Stay quiet," Elias whispered. He stepped out into the yard, pretending to inspect his fence as the mercenaries approached. Their leader questioned him harshly, accusing him of hiding something. Elias maintained a steady, tired farmer's demeanor. "Search if you want," he said. "All you'll find is dead and broken fences." After tense moments, the riders left. Elias waited until their torches disappeared before returning to the barn. "You risked your life for me," Althea said softly. "I'd do it again," he replied. "Now rest. You're safe here." She watched him with an expression he didn't expect: respect. Hours later, faint, rhythmic tremors rippled through the ground again, but this time they were slower, heavier, organized. Althea sat up sharply. "My clan, they found me." Elias followed her outside as massive silhouettes emerged from the trees, giants, carrying glowing blue torches. At their lead was a towering man with a crown of woven iron branches, his presence commanding and ancient. Althea whispered, "Father." The giant chief stepped forward, lowering himself to one knee so his massive eyes aligned with Elias's level. The gesture alone left Elias breathless. A being of such stature bowing was a sight few humans would ever witness. The chief's voice rumbled through the night like rolling thunder. "My daughter tells me you protected her when death hunted her. Humans seldom offer mercy to giants, yet you risked your life to give her refuge." His gaze was intense but not unkind. "Tell me, Farmer Elias, what made you choose compassion over fear?" Elias shifted uncomfortably. "I didn't think of it like that. She needed help. I did what felt right." The chief studied him for a long moment, as if measuring the weight of his words. "The world grows darker each year," he said. "Warriors with steel hearts now walk freely, and kindness has become rare. Yet you, a man with your own burdens, offered sanctuary to someone far beyond your world." Althea, now steadier, stepped between them. "Father, he treated my wounds, hid me from the mercenaries, and never once asked for anything." The chief's expression softened slightly, but his voice remained firm. "Then he deserves more than words." He gestured to one of his warriors, who approached carrying a heavy leather pouch nearly the size of a large bucket. The warrior set it down gently at Elias's feet. Elias opened it, expecting perhaps food or medicinal herbs, but the torchlight revealed silver bars, polished and stamped with ancient symbols. Elias stumbled backward. I can't accept this." "You can and you will," the chief replied. "This is not payment for saving a princess. It is recognition. A man who stands against greed with nothing but courage deserves to live free of chains." Elias felt a lump in his throat. "You don't know my debts." The chief gave a low chuckle. "Human gold and numbers matter little to one who commands mountains." "Your burdens are gone." Elias looked toward Althea, who nodded reassuringly. "My father keeps his word." But even with the unimaginable wealth at his feet, Elias felt compelled to speak. "I didn't help you for reward." "I know," Althea said. "That is why you are worthy of it." Her father stepped closer. "If our paths cross again, you will be honored among the giant clan. You have a place with us whenever you seek it." Elias felt overwhelmed. He had been a man ready to lose his ranch just days ago. Now giants stood before him, offering friendship and gratitude beyond anything he could have imagined. Althea lowered herself slightly, bringing her massive hand near him, not as a greeting, but as a gesture of deep thanks. Elias placed his hand against hers. Though minuscule in comparison, the gesture connected their worlds in a way neither had expected. After a final bow, the giant chief signaled his clan. One by one, the giants turned toward the forest, their torches lighting the trees with ethereal blue flames. Althea glanced back at Elias before following her people. "Elias Carter," she said softly, "you changed the fate of a princess, and tonight your own fate has changed too." With that, she disappeared among the trees, leaving Elias standing in the quiet night, the leather pouch heavy in his hands and his heart even heavier with emotion. As dawn rose, Elias walked into the bank that had haunted him for years. The clerk nearly fainted when he placed silver bars on the counter, more than enough to clear every debt. Word of his sudden fortune spread across the valley, but when neighbors asked how he did it, Elias simply smiled. "Some debts," he said, "are paid by the hearts you help, not the hands you shake." He returned to his ranch feeling lighter than ever. Before, not because the land was saved, but because he had learned that even the smallest act of kindness could ripple into miracles. And though the valley never saw giants again, Elias often found massive footprints near the edge of the forest, silent, reminders that somewhere out there, a powerful princess and her people never forgot the farmer who saved her.